Greece doesn't actually have enough money. Greece, left to its own devices, will run out of funds very soon after the election. And what they're counting on is for the rest of Europe, via the troika, to provide the necessary to fill the necessary funding gap. But if the negotiating positions are too far apart, as I believe they will, I certainly don't expect the troika to agree to that. I think they will refuse. There won't be enough money to pay all the bills. And then it's likely that what will happen is that the new government basically starts using IOUs, much as California did during the financial crisis. That is, what I envision is they'd still be able to pay 90% or so of their bills. So if they owe you wages, they'd pay you 90% in euros, just like always, and 10% in an IOU denominated in euros, bearing some interest rate, which they swear that as soon as they sort things out with the rest of Europe, they'll pay you off with the real euros. So they're not going to a new currency, at least in their way of viewing it, but they won't be paying you real euros either. Now, that could actually work for quite a substantial period of time if there wasn't such a thing as a banking system, because that's the real vulnerability here. Surprisingly, only about a third of the deposits in the Greek banks have left by now. You kind of have to wonder what the other two-thirds is. You know, it's some combination of optimists, idiots, people who have a political reason they can't move it, or there's some other factor. But presumably of the two-thirds of the money still there, a lot of it could still move. And if it looks like there's a collision course between the troika and the Greek government, a lot of it presumably will try to leave, which means it has to be taken out of the banks, which means the banks have to have the euros to give to the depositors. They're not going to have enough euros for that. They're going to have to get it either from the European Central Bank or for the National Central Bank of Greece, which operates in this manner only with the permission of the European Central Bank. So there's going to be a real decision by the ECB. Do they permit withdrawals for a period of time funded essentially by the ECB based on collateral? Or do they reject the collateral, which will probably be of very poor quality, and create a banking crisis? Because at that point, the banks either won't be able to give out the money, or they'll have to do a version of what the government is doing and essentially give out IOUs.